Story Countdown's worst persons in the world, LeBron's tonight to Billow, taking on an old nemesis against whom he's about 0 for 40 lifetime. Him, Al Franken. But far worse than what Jeremiah Wright is doing is comedian Al Franken trying to gain a U.S. Senate seat with a tax controversy all over him. 2 states, New York and California, have publicly proclaimed Franken a scofflaw. And now comes word that he owes a whopping $70,000 in back taxes. Even the ultra-liberal Minneapolis Star-Tribune has slammed Franken. I know this is complicated for you, Bill, and I know you fall asleep at night wishing this were true about Al, but if you say Franken owes $70,000 in back taxes, you're lying. Franken paid the taxes. In fact, he overpaid the taxes. He just didn't pay them to correct states. A traveling performer like a comedian or a lecturer or a ball player has to pay income tax everywhere he has a gig or a game, and Franken's accountant misled him on that, so he paid the taxes, but he paid them to Minnesota, and now he's paying them again to the other states. And you're a cheesy liar, Bill. The runner-up, actor and writer Ben Stein, this is so beyond the pale that even John Derbyshire of the National Review Online, who hates my guts as uncordially as I hate his, called this shameful. Stein, who was suddenly on an anti-evolution kick, went on the Trinity Broadcasting Network to criticize a scientist who was, quote, talking about how great scientists were. I was thinking to myself, the last time any of my relatives saw scientists telling them what to do, they were telling them to go to the showers to get gassed. That's where science leads you. Love of God and compassion and empathy leads you to a very glorious place, and science leads you to killing people. That the Nazis used snippets of Darwinism as one of the countless rationalizations for their bestiality is well known. Others included religion, astrology, and the legal system. But to say science leads you to killing people? But our winner is Coultergeist, and not for the reasons you would think when you hear her quote. And I guess the question is Obama a Manchurian candidate to normal Americans who love their country, and he secretly agrees with the weathermen and the Reverend Wright faction? Or is he being the Manchurian candidate to the traitor wing of the Democratic Party? You gotta stop chain-chewing that Nicorette, Anne. The reason for this award is not the either-or, is he evil or is he evil question about Obama. It's the Manchurian candidate reference interjected yet again into this presidential election. Annie, have you ever seen The Manchurian Candidate, the classic original with Frank Sinatra and Lawrence Harvey? The Manchurian Candidate is about an American war hero, ex-POW, who while he's in captivity gets brainwashed by the Chinese. Now, given who is in this year's presidential election, why on earth would you or any conservative or Republican want to evoke the Manchurian Candidate and get people drifting off into the science fiction of POW presidential candidates who were brainwashed in Southeast Asia? And just say, oops, and get out Coulter, today's worst person in the world.